Welcome back to our channel, or if this is your first time meeting us, just welcome. I'm Chris.
And I'm Ellie.
And we are the World Family Explorers. We travel the world full time with our two kids, Logan and Connor, that are 8 and 9 years old.
So in the last year, we have visited 13 different countries and we have had an adventure of a lifetime.
Yeah, so today we're just gonna give you a brief run through of all the countries we've been to, what we liked, what we didn't like about those countries, and then stick around to the end of the video and we're gonna say some of those countries that we would actually consider living in long term.
That's right. So this journey all started in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. That was our first stop. We live in Las Vegas, Nevada, so we flew to Fort Lauderdale and we stayed there for 1 week. We loved Fort Lauderdale. It was kind of like a vacation time for us. We were all excited starting this year-long adventure and really enjoyed it. We got to see some, alligators?
Yes, alligators, and we ate alligator.
That's right.
That was something different. So we even did something exotic in our own country, and it was something new for us.
Yeah, so after that, we headed on a 1-week cruise from Florida all the way to Spain.
So that was kind of our introduction into full-time traveling that we had been planning for a long time.
We took a Disney cruise and that took us to Portugal on a couple of stops. We went to São Miguel Island and then we went to Lisbon as well. So those were really fun places to explore for a day. And then after that we headed to Spain. We had 5 different stops in Spain until we reached Barcelona. If you guys want to check out our full review of the Disney cruise, you can see that up here. But it was a great experience and it was a really fun way to start this whole adventure. It was definitely more of a vacation type of feel to it, a little different than the rest of the year went, but it was really fun. Yeah,
I guess we really weren't in Portugal long enough. I know that's a lot of places that expats live and everything. We really can't give a full review on that. We just know that our short port stops there, we liked it.
We enjoyed it.
It was nice. It was beautiful. Yeah.
Exactly. So after we got off the cruise, that took us to Barcelona, Spain, and we stayed there for 4 nights.
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed Spain. The food was amazing. The architecture was amazing.
We absolutely love Spain. Definitely some of the most beautiful architecture I have ever seen in my entire life. We loved exploring the city. We were only there for a short bit because, as you guys will see, we tried to stay a little bit shorter in really expensive spots. So Barcelona was pricing out quite pricey at that time. So we stayed only 4 nights. And then we tried to stay longer in places that are a little more affordable. Yeah,
you'll see a theme in our videos and our way of traveling. We are on a budget, so we are not independently wealthy or anything.
We're not millionaires here. And we will go into more details on how we afford this
lifestyle. We'll do a whole video on that because that's one of our #1 asked questions.
So Spain was wonderful. We stayed there for about a month. We visited Barcelona, Sevilla, La Herradura, and then Granada as well. So we kind of went a little quicker through Spain and we saw quite a few different cities. We were excited. This was all fresh and new, so it was a little quicker than we typically move.
We quickly learned the challenges of traveling with children. Yeah, so we learned that, eventually we started slowing down a little more because they don't like constant moving and everything.
And neither do we.
Neither do we. Yeah, no, it's nice to get something familiar and stay there for a little while. But I would say the only negative that I had, and you had as well, is when we went to some of the oceans in Spain, we came from Florida on our last ocean trip, and then we went there and the water was much colder.
But in general, we found Spain very affordable. Transportation was easy. We took buses mostly to go from one city to another. There's also Uber or taxis, and it was fairly affordable. It was a very good destination for us to start off and start this adventure in.
Yeah, you can see all our Spain adventures right there.
After Spain, we headed over to Bulgaria, where I am from. We spent 2 months there exploring the country. We mostly stayed in my hometown of Burgas, but we also went to the capital, Sofia. We went to nearby towns as well, Sozopol and Zeber. And then our favorite place in Bulgaria is actually Plovdiv. So it's a beautiful, ancient town, one of the oldest in Europe.
Kind of remember some of the history from that. So it's like it dates back 8,000 years old. Yeah, it actually is the oldest continuously inhabited city in all of Europe. So a lot of history there. It was amazing.
Beautiful
And then
place.
obviously beautiful women were born there, and then came to America and eventually met me. So I'm very lucky.
I loved Bulgaria though, because obviously it feels very comfortable there. It was kind of a good rest point. We were a little tired from traveling through Spain. So it was a really nice place to just go to the beach, relax, see family. My family was there to visit as well. So it was a really good, you know, very inexpensive place to go and visit and spend some good time in.
I would say the negative is in the winter that it's very dead in the winter on the beach cities.
It's a little boring in the winter.
Yeah.
It's also a little chilly. We actually would consider living there at some point maybe, but not at this point, right?
Yeah, I think it's more of a go for 3 months there
Yeah.
in the nice weather
Nice
season.
weather.
Yeah.
And it's really nice and it's really fun on the beach when in the summertime. It's a great energy there. And you can check out our time in my home country right here. So after Bulgaria, we headed to Greece and we spent about 7 weeks traveling through Greece. Our first stop was Crete, where we spent 4 weeks. We got a really good deal on an Airbnb there, very close to the beach. And we loved exploring that island. It is a very big island, so you must rent a car to be able to explore it fully. Transportation there is not fantastic otherwise.
Yeah, I'm having trouble concentrating on what I want to say because all I can think about is the gyros.
The
The
food.
delicious pork gyros
You know-
were so amazing.
You know, Greek food didn't really cross my mind before we went there as being that great, but man, that changed whenever we were in Greece. It was so
Oh, yeah.
fresh, so delicious.
And
The-
affordable.
And
yeah.
the Greek people were so kind to our children. It was very affordable. All the things that we did was fairly inexpensive.
Yeah, they were definitely some of the friendliest, most inviting. And we were worried about, like, Greek's a very hard language. So we
Yeah.
were trying to study some basic words and everything. And everybody's like, I can tell you're more comfortable speaking English. Don't worry, we all speak English.
And everybody did. There was
Everybody
there
in
was
the
no-
areas we went, at least. Yeah.
Well, I think everybody under 40.
Yes, the
You know?
older grandmas that were like outside of our little villa.
They
yeah,
did not
they
speak
did
English,
not.
but they were adorable, and everybody was so friendly and welcoming. Just walking through, you know, we loved Greece.
Yeah.
So after our 4 weeks exploring Crete, which by the way had some incredible beaches, we went to a pink sand beach there.
Yes.
That was so beautiful.
That was one of the clearest
Yeah.
waters that we've ever been to, the pink sand beach, Elefanisi Beach.
Elefanisi.
Which-
Also, Matala. Matala was a really cute coastal little village.
It had like the caves up in the hills and everything. That
So
was
beautiful.
That was beautiful, yeah.
And even like going through the little town, there's like art on the ground. Like it was just such a nice, fun hippie vibe type of place. We loved it. So after our time on Crete, we headed over to Santorini. So we spent 4 nights in Santorini. Again, this is not a budget destination. Santorini is expensive.
Yeah, that's one of the most expensive island out of all the Greek islands. So we did a
That
short
and
stay there
Mykonos.
because that was on my bucket list. Like you see those blue dome churches and the amazing cliffs and everything. Like I'm like, we need to go there, even if it's for a short time. And I'm glad we did.
I'm glad we did as well.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. I mean, we took this catamaran cruise around the island that was absolutely beautiful and relaxing.
And then after that was Naxos.
Naxos, yes.
Okay,
So-
Naxos was more family friendly.
Yeah, we spent 5 nights in Naxos, and there yeah, it was definitely a lot more family friendly. The beaches were really calm. The water was beautiful for snorkeling. The food was incredible. I would say our island hopping, like Santorini and Naxos, was a little more vacation versus whenever we were on Crete, we were living. We were in the local neighborhood with the grocery store.
We really got immersed into the culture. We
It was-
cooked some
it
of
was
our own
great.
food. Like that was amazing.
We took a cooking class in Crete as well.
Oh yeah, I love the mix of getting like the local culture feeling, but also doing the tourist stuff
Yeah.
that you want to kind of check off those bucket list items.
Exactly. So after our time exploring the islands in Greece, we headed over and stayed 2 nights in Athens.
Yeah.
Athens was a quick stay. We didn't get the best impression of the city, I would say.
Yeah, it's a
maybe
little-
we didn't give it enough of a chance.
It wasn't very beautiful when we were just driving from the port to where we were going, but once we got in our little neighborhood, it was very nice. We were actually right at the foot of the Acropolis. So that's one of the most seen sights in the world. So
Beautiful.
seeing those ruins and everything, so that was definitely amazing. So we loved seeing that history and everything, but it wasn't I would say it's not wasn't our favorite city that we've been as far as capitals
No,
and everything.
it
but
wasn't.
we were more about the islands, the Greek islands, and even the people in the islands said, "Are you sure you want to go to Athens?" I'm like, "Well, we at least want to see the Acropolis."
Yeah, at least
and also
there'd be
that was
lights.
going to be a place for us to
Fly.
out of anyway.
Yeah.
And then after Greece, I hope you have a better memory than me.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you guys want to see all of the videos from Greece, we have a big playlist on that. You can check that out right here. But after we were done with our Greek tour, we headed over to Egypt.
Ah, okay. Now I remember.
We split our time between Cairo, the capital, which we spent 3 nights in, and then we headed over to Luxor as well, which we spent almost a month in.
Yeah.
So I was
Cairo
yeah.
was, of course, the
Cairo.
Great Pyramids. And riding the camels and seeing that history. And we actually stayed in New Cairo, so we stayed at a very modern place there. But then after that, after seeing those sites, we moved to Luxor, which was total opposite on the spectrum.
We took a 11-hour bus journey through Egypt from Cairo to Luxor, which I don't know if I would recommend. Maybe see if you can fly between the two. The flights were not working out for us at that time.
It was like arrive at 3 in the morning, so we're like, no.
It was crazy, and it was extremely expensive to fly during the dates that we needed to fly in. So we took the bus, and actually it was fine. It's just a very long journey.
It had TVs in it.
It did.
You could watch movies. I watched movies on the way, but but they didn't really have good food along the way or anything. So that was definitely not a luxury experience.
So in Cairo, we stayed at New Cairo. And Luxor, we were going there on a mission. Our kids were doing a cultural school with about 15 other children from all over the world. And they were going to learn more about Egyptian culture, history, traditions. So we had to stay on the west side of the Nile River, which is a little less developed.
Yes, that's like we were on a dirt road along the Nile River. Beautiful view and everything.
Beautiful view
but the accommodations were a little...
They weren't our favorite.
Little dodgy.
We'll go into details in a different video of why Egypt was really challenging for us. It was definitely our most challenging destination. But, the history and sightseeing was absolutely incredible. And the food wasn't our favorite, which is a little bit of a problem.
Did. Well, right here's the link. If you're really interested in Egypt, we did do a series on Egypt, and we did talk a little bit more about our accommodations and challenges there.
Right.
So you can watch that video if you like.
So after our month exploring Egypt, we headed over to Italy.
So Italy, we cut it short a little bit.
In Egypt, yeah.
And then this is something that we never do is we just looked at what flights were available and we're like, where do you want to go next? Because we in our previous lives, we meticulously planned out everything and stuff, but that was not the case. We're like, what's the cheapest flight, which makes sense? Because
the
after
direction that we're going,
where we were going to go next after that. But yeah, so the flights were cheap from Cairo to there, and then we went to Italy.
Went
to Rome.
And since we weren't loving the food in Egypt, that obviously was an amazing destination to follow up. Obviously, Italy, you're going to have amazing pizza, gelato, pasta, all of it.
I was actually more impressed by the pasta than the pizza.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, it was amazing.
We loved it. So we stayed in Italy for 11 nights in a little town called Tivoli. This was kind of the perfect place for us. It was about 30-minute fast train from Rome, so we were able to go on day trips to Rome.
Oh yeah, Tivoli was amazing. The architecture, there was places with fountains and waterfalls.
So beautiful.
And just little hiking trails along the waterfalls. We really loved it so much. The beauty and picturesque amount of things that you could see there.
Yep.
And then that short trip into Rome, we went twice or 3 times.
I think, twice, I think.
We went twice on the train, that quick 30-minute trip. So we did the reverse. Instead of most people stay in Rome and then do a day trip to Tivoli, we did the opposite and did day trips to Rome. So worked out really well for us.
And it was exactly what we needed. We wanted to go into a smaller town, a more local, less tourists. And
the kids did the
wonderful to
gladiator. The kids did a gladiator training for kids that they actually had to go through an obstacle course in Rome, and they got to put on the gladiator armor and everything. So yeah, that was a great experience.
That was a really fun experience, especially because we did that the day after we had gone to the Colosseum. We were able to do the nighttime Colosseum tour. You guys can see that video in our playlist over here. But yeah, it was a wonderful experience for the kids to kind of have a hands-on experience. and put that history all together.
Yeah.
Now, one thing with Italy is we didn't stay very long because we had already had commitments. It was a last minute decision. Also, Italy is a little expensive when you compare it to other destinations in Europe. Accommodations were quite pricey, so 11 nights is all we could handle at that time. So after Italy, we headed over to Dubai.
Dubai. When I think of Dubai, I think of like gold everywhere and people with cheetahs as pets and stuff, but
I don't know.
it wasn't that crazy. But yeah, it is a very wealthy country, obviously. It is very well maintained and clean and
Safe.
beautiful, and yeah, the
Just-
beaches really impressed me. Because I don't really think of it as having beautiful beaches. I know about some of those man-made islands and everything. So we definitely loved the beaches. The kids really loved it and enjoyed it, which we weren't sure if they would or not.
It was one of the most family-friendly destinations we have ever been to. There was so much for the kids to do. Now, of course, Dubai is going to be a little pricier destination, so that's why we only stayed there for a week.
So that might be the negative, yeah. Because we're trying to stay on budget here, so we kind of balance it out with pricier places, cheaper place, pricier place.
So it evens out. More vacation style for us because we were only there for a week. Now, I do have family in Dubai, so we were able to see them as
That was
well,
great,
which was
yeah.
great. Obviously, they have a ton to do, giant malls with everything you can possibly imagine inside of them. It was a really cool destination, and we would like to return someday. Dubai is definitely on our list to go back to.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh, the kids love riding around the little kid Ferraris.
Oh, that's
We were on
right.
a man-made island, and the kids were riding little kid Ferrari cars
So cool.
around there, and I'm like, well, this is one of the few places in the
Yeah.
world we would be doing this. That was awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool. Another thing that we did in Dubai was we went sand bashing, and then
yeah. So we were
Oh,
jumping
we
the sand
did.
dunes,
We had
and
a
then they
sand
had the amazing fire show afterwards, and the sand boarding.
so much
So,
fun for the kids. That
yeah.
was your highlight.
Dad
of our
even
trip.
did it standing up. The kids did it sitting down.
Yeah.
Mom tried.
I tried. I tried. It's a little harder than it looks. But that was really cool experience. So after our time in Dubai, which you guys can check out those videos right here, we headed over to Thailand.
Thailand, yeah. So this was our first time in any Asian country. So it was a real culture shock in a good way, a good culture shock.
A great way. So we spent a total of 6 weeks exploring Thailand, 2 of which were in Phuket. So
Yes.
we loved Phuket. It has a little bit of a bad rep, I think. It's very touristy, but we actually really enjoyed it. We had a
It's
great
also
time.
one of the more expensive places in Thailand, but still
right.
much cheaper than anything in the United States.
Right. We had a really nice 2-bedroom apartment with a beautiful ocean
View
view.
of the
We were
ocean.
very short walk to the beach. So we spent a lot of time just playing in the beach. Our son Connor went.
Oh, Connor did something special. He
yeah.
did parasailing. That was cool. So from off of the beach, we did together. So we did tandem. So I got to be behind him with Connor in front. That was cool.
That's really cool. We also went to Maya Bay, which is absolutely incredible. So with us, we kind of tried to balance experiences and then some more inexpensive things to do. But we definitely, whenever we're in a place, we try to prioritize when there's a really cool experience. And we felt like Maya Bay and those islands were worth exploring. So
Oh,
we
yeah.
took a really fun speedboat really early in the morning that took us over to Maya Bay. We did some incredible snorkeling, some of the best that we've ever done in our whole lives.
Oh yeah, the beautiful tropical fish of every color, like that was amazing
Beautiful
snorkeling. We've done lots of
beaches.
snorkeling in other Caribbean and Mexico and everything, and actually I thought that was the best snorkeling that we've ever done, and we got to experience it with our kids, which made it even better.
So after our 2 weeks in Phuket, we went to Chiang Mai for a month. It's definitely more affordable than Phuket, so we were able to spend longer there. We had really fun exploring all the different temples. It's just such a beautiful culture. The food was incredible. We were able to find a lot of like-minded families that are also travelers.
Oh yeah,
which
that
is
was actually the first
amazing.
time that we actually ran into many other travel families, because we just went on Facebook groups and they would have like meetups and everything.
Yeah.
So we got to meet lots of other families that we ended up, we're still friends, and we've been to many other countries together and stuff.
Yeah, so that's been really cool about this whole experience, is the people that we meet, the locals and also the travelers too. We went on an elephant sanctuary
Oh,
and
yeah,
got to
that
take
was
care of the elephants,
great memory.
which was incredible.
Climbed up those sticky waterfalls.
Yeah,
Connor
super
skinned his
fun.
knee. Yeah.
We went water rafting with the kids.
Oh yeah, just so many adventures that I'm just now reliving them, like
Such-
thinking back. It's kind of amazing when you go to like 13 countries in 1 year, that like, yeah, sometimes you even forget like, oh, that was amazing. We're glad that we're doing these YouTube videos. We're not trying to do it to make money. I mean, that's a nice benefit too.
Yeah.
So please watch those commercials.
Yeah.
But But we're doing it to like save for when we're old and when our kids are old and they can look back on these videos, and hopefully YouTube's going to be around forever. And I mean, we put them on a hard drive too, just in case.
During our time in Chiang Mai, we loved the food, we loved the city. We could have easily stayed there longer. The one negative with Chiang Mai is it does have a smoky season, so it wouldn't be a place that I would want to live year round just because of that.
A seasonal place, yeah.
It's a seasonal place, but if you're going to Thailand, I feel like it is a must.
All right, what's next up?
So after Thailand, we headed over to Malaysia. And Malaysia is one of those countries where I knew very little about before we got there, but we were meeting some of our traveling friends there, so we went to Kuala Lumpur first.
Yeah, so one thing that made it really easy was everybody spoke English, so right off the bat, we're like, okay, this is gonna be easy traveling around Malaysia. So like that.
Yeah, it definitely was. Malaysia is such a cool country. It's so diverse. There's many different cultures living there. You have Malay, Chinese, Indian, amazing food. Accommodations were some of the best we have ever had. And honestly, it kind of spoiled us.
I think that's where we started getting spoiled in Asia because of the price versus what you get for the price.
If you're comparing it to, for example, Europe or other places, you're getting a lot bang for your buck in Malaysia with really nice apartments with all of the pools and gyms and playgrounds and just so many amenities.
The kids really loved it. And then they had the mega malls too, which Thailand also had.
Right.
So basically, yeah, that's when we started getting the Asia mega malls, and the kids were like, once we go other places, they're like, where's the mall? And I'm like, okay, but not every place has a mega mall, sorry.
Right. So we spent about a month in Kuala Lumpur, actually a little bit longer than that. We loved it so much that we extended our stay by a week. And it was just great. We went to the Batu Caves, which is really cool place.
Oh yeah, the monkeys. So
lots of monkeys there.
That was when we were kind of introduced into masses of monkeys being everywhere.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to feed them, but I unfortunately fed them and probably shouldn't have
because
they started to surround us and everything. But yeah, it was still a very cool experience and magnificent to just see those caves and the shrines and the statues and everything. We loved it.
And Kuala Lumpur is just a really easy city to live at. That is what we determined. It was very easy to be there. There was plenty for the kids to do, very family friendly. There is Uber, which they call it Grab there, which made it really easy to get around town. There's also a metro. It was just really easy place to spend a month at. So once we were done with Kuala Lumpur, we then went for 4 nights to Ipoh. We took the train there from Kuala Lumpur, and it was very easy. It's a really cute town, lots of street art, really beautiful temples.
Yeah, went to some cave temples there as well.
Went to a castle, a Scottish castle in Malaysia, Kelly's Castle.
Yeah.
Which is cool, an unexpected little place.
Yeah, very eclectic, like so many different things to see. And then, so we did the train to there, and then we did the bus. The bus to Penang Island, Malaysia.
And we spent about 3 weeks there over the Chinese New Year, which was such a cool experience to get to see the lion dances and just so much excitement. The city was very nicely decorated as well for Chinese New Year.
Oh,
a lot of fireworks.
They definitely celebrate. So that's 16 days of fireworks all night long.
Yeah, 15.
So that was maybe the negative, like me being retired military, just having those explosions all night long. Maybe not the best thing for me, but it was just so beautiful, and we loved immersing in that culture and everything.
And Georgetown is such a beautiful town. We loved walking around it. There's a lot of street art. You have a lot of colonial buildings. It's very colorful. We're meeting with friends there as well, so the kids had friends to play with and experience some of the sightseeing as well.
I guess the negative was the beaches weren't the greatest.
Swimmable.
And they had some like jellyfish that
they
have stingers, the box jellyfish. So we were kind of afraid to swim there. So that was kind of a negative when you're on an island and then you don't want to swim.
Right.
So that was probably the only bad thing about it.
Yeah, but as a whole, Penang has really good food. We actually like the food better in Ipoh, which has very similar feel as far as the city goes. But again, Malaysia, you can find any kind of cuisine that you're looking for, whether it's Chinese, Malay, Indian, or Western food. We found really good Western food.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But just really easy place to spend some time there.
Yeah, but that's actually where we've been trying to catch up on all our editing from our videos, and depending on when you're watching this, but right now at least we do have our Malaysia series, so you can click there.
So we went from Penang, Malaysia to Hanoi, Vietnam, and that was the ultimate culture shock.
Oh yeah, so there's 8 million people there and 5 million scooters. So everybody warned us. They're like, the traffic is horrendous.
And it is.
And yeah, it was. It was crazy. There's people driving on the sidewalks in scooters. So you're not even safe on the sidewalks. So I would say they were the sweetest, kindest people. And there was a little bit of a language barrier, but they would always, Google Translate for you. But a lot of them did speak English too, especially in the tourist areas. But I would say the traffic was like the negative. I hate starting with the negative first, but we'll start with that. Traffic was the negative. It was crazy, especially in the capital of Hanoi.
Yeah.
And we haven't been to Ho Chi Minh, but I heard it's even worse there.
Yeah.
So even though that's not the capital, there's more people there.
So we spent the week in Hanoi, and we actually really enjoyed our time there. A lot of people told us that we didn't even have to spend much time there, but they had a beautiful old town that we got to explore and walk around. They had mega malls, just like Malaysia did, some really beautiful malls, great food, great places for the kids, a lot of indoor and trampoline parks. We were there when it was cooler, so
we had to buy coats.
Yeah, we had to buy jackets. Vietnam gets cold. It's a misconception that Vietnam is hot, but
Northern Vietnam is cool, and then
really
Southern
cold.
Vietnam is warm.
After our time in Hanoi, we head over to Tam Quoc/Ninh Binh, which is a beautiful town on the rice fields. And they had some rivers to go through.
Oh yeah, we did these awesome like boats that go through the beautiful rice fields and the mountains, and it was amazing. We even went in some caves and out the other side. They rowed the boats with their feet. Which that was pretty crazy. But yeah, that was picturesque scenery going through there.
Spent 4 nights exploring that area, and then we headed for 2 nights to explore Halong Bay, which is one of the most beautiful places in all of Vietnam.
Limestone like
cliffs,
formations and islands all around. We got to go to take the canoes to some little private beaches off the boat when they would stop. But that was, how long was it?
We took a 3-day, 2-night cruise. That was a 6-star cruise.
6 stars.
I don't know if it's really 6 stars, but it was very nice.
It was newly refurbished.
Yeah.
It was a brand new refurbished ship. It was a beautiful ship, and yeah, we liked it. It was actually one of the top 10 largest ones.
It was very large. It was beautiful.
That they have, that is you can't have too big of a ship to go through and navigate through all these, but that was amazing.
After our time exploring Halong Bay, we headed over to Da Nang. Stayed there for a month, and it quickly became one of our favorite cities. Very beautiful beach, very inexpensive. It was, very affordable, whether it was for food or entertainment. They had a really nice amusement park. We were able to go and visit the ancient town of Hoi An, which again, it is beautiful.
Oh yeah. Da Nang was definitely one of my favorites, I think. We were right off the beach. We just had to cross the street. We could go to the beach. Amazing restaurants, amazing food, amazing beach, nice clear water.
Entertainment for the kids.
Yeah, so it didn't have the mega malls, but it had some nice malls there too. So it kind of had it checked a lot of boxes.
Yeah.
And it made it really comfortable to live there, for that month. We could even live longer. That might be in our top list, I think. Because we're gonna have a top list here at the end.
It might be.
Of places that we might want to live. So I think that I'm trying to compile my list here because I didn't compile it ahead of time.
So after Da Nang, Vietnam, that is when we headed over to the Philippines, and we spent a month exploring the Philippines.
Yeah, so first we went to the capital of Manila. So we explored Metro Manila. We stayed in BGC, which is one of their more upscale neighborhoods. And yeah, we didn't want for anything there. It had the mega malls there. It had the Western food. It had the local food. And the kids really loved it.
It's very modern. There's plenty to do. We went to a wonderful children's museum there. That was great. BGC and Philippines in general, very affordable destination as well.
Friendly people. That speak English.
Yes.
So that was another English-speaking place.
So we spent the week in Manila, and that was a good amount of time to be able to explore some of the places. We went to Chinatown, which has incredible food.
Oh, we did the little boat ride at the...
Oh, the Manila.
Oh, they had the Venice
Mall, which was cool.
The Venice Mall, which was cool. It was
really cool.
Yeah, it was a neat theme to do a theme mall like that. We have one in Vegas too, so it was kind of cool to see how they did it there in Manila.
So we spent a week there, and then we headed over to the islands because, of course, you're in the Philippines. You want to explore the beaches. Yeah. So we went to Panglao Island, which is right next to Bohol. They're connected. Panglao is a very small island, but it has a lot of beautiful beaches. And then Bohol is a really large island that you should definitely rent a car in and to explore more of. But that's where we went to see the little tarsiers, which were so cute, the little primates.
Oh, yeah. And then we went to the kids loved actually even more than the beaches almost, they love going to a lot of the waterfalls.
Oh yeah, incredible waterfalls. And we were there during dry season, and still the waterfalls were a highlight of our trip to the Philippines. Also went swimming with the whale sharks.
Which was probably a low light. Is that a thing? A low light?
Yeah, it wasn't our
Highlight,
favorite.
low light.
It wasn't our favorite experience, as you guys will see in
It was
our
too
Filipino
crowded.
videos.
Yeah, you can see if you watch our whale shark video that unfortunately it wasn't the magical experience. We did get close to the whale shark and everything with 50 other people in front of us. It was just mass hysteria and everything.
Not the best
so
experience.
maybe we'll try that experience again and hopefully have a better experience next time. But
maybe we'll try it in Cebu. A lot of people tell us to go to Cebu next time, and we definitely plan on going back to the Philippines. So after our time in Bohol, which we were there for 9 days, we went to a different island.
Negros Occidental.
Negros. So we took a ferry, and this is not a very touristy island. A lot of people were surprised that we were going there. A lot of people told us, why are you going to spend 2 weeks there? We were in a city called Sipalay.
Sipalay, yes.
I said it right.
I
we
know.
got a lot of grief for saying it wrong.
We said Sipalay for weeks,
yeah.
and then we found out it's Sipalay.
And nobody corrected us while we were there.
And then we put out the videos, and everybody was like, it's not Sipalay, it's Sipalay. And
We
I'm
understand. Yeah, it's our mistake.
Now we know.
Now we know.
So our Filipino
So,
friends, we
I'm sorry.
apologize.
So we went there, and it was definitely a really cool cultural immersion. Now, the more we travel, the more we try to go to a little bit more local places instead of going to all the tourist hotspots that everybody goes to, like Boracay, Palawan, Cebu. These are all places that, of course, a lot of tourists go to, and we want to go there, and we will.
We're actually planning to go there next year we want to see the tourist places, but we all want to see
the local
the local
too.
places, yeah.
And actually, it was a really, really cool experience to be in the local city. There was really no other tourists around.
A beautiful Airbnb with a little swimming pool, 4 bedrooms,
right by the
big
beach.
screen TV, good internet. So those were some of the things we worried about, because a lot of people say you get spotty internet, and we had super high speed internet and everything. We were lucky.
At that specific place, we had exceptional internet. In the other island,
Bohol, not so good.
A little spotty as far as the internet goes, but in Sipalay, we had amazing internet, and the locals were really, really friendly. The kids made a lot of friends with the local kids too, so they were playing, they were climbing trees together, they were climbing palm trees, they were playing at the beach. They just had a really local experience with the local kids, because they all pretty much speak English, which is a huge benefit as well. We got to try a lot of the local food. We took a fisherman's boat to a little beach resort, which was actually, the resort was incredible. It was the quirkiest resort we've ever been to. The boat ride was a little quirky as well.
So I would say, I would say it was one of the more developing places that we went there on that island.
But it was a really cool experience.
But it was a great experience, yeah. So we really loved it. It was a contrast, because we went from the mega city in Metro Manila to the island experience. So that's kind of why we like the Philippines, is because you could live in BGC and then you could be in an island quickly.
Very quickly.
So,
Exactly. You can either take a ferry to different islands, or you can take an airplane, which we did a combination of both, and it worked out great.
Yeah.
So after we spent a month in the Philippines, we headed over to our final country in Asia, Japan.
That's actually we're currently in the middle of working on getting all those videos out and edited and everything. Traveling with kids, we found out that it's really hard to keep up on that video editing while you're traveling and
very
homeschooling.
Hard. Yeah, it's very hard, because I do a lot of it. Chris usually does the shooting of the footage, so he's really good at the camera work.
Well, I wouldn't say I'm really good at the camera work.
Well, comparison to me, you're great.
Okay. I'm not a professional cameraman, as you will see from our videos. We do our best.
We do our best.
Yes, we're novices. We're new at this.
But the editing, I do all the homeschooling. I do the planning of our travels as well, and the editing and all of that. And it takes a lot of work on the back end. So I'm trying to get caught up here while we're here in the U.S.
Yes. So Japan was another culture shock in a good way, because everything is so orderly and everything is so clean, and the transportation is impeccable. Those trains are on time. We started in Osaka, and one of the trips we made from there was Nara Park, which was a highlight. So that's where they have like
incredible
they have
place.
bowing deer. So you feed them like a little cracker, and the deer bow to you like they're a respectful Japanese deer.
It was so cool. It was one
There was
of the
1,000,
highlights.
over
Yeah.
1,000 deer there that were it was really,
It was definitely a highlight of our entire trip, actually, to go to
Yeah.
Nara Park and Japan in general. We spent 6 nights in Osaka, which is just such a cool town. Like the city itself has such an incredible food culture. So we had incredible food in Japan. We found it actually quite affordable, considering Japan is known to be an expensive country to visit,
Yeah.
but
The exchange rate's really
exchange
good.
rate was really good whenever we went. We loved Osaka. We could have easily spent a month in Osaka. It was a perfect size of a city for us, very easy to navigate. Again, the trains were incredible. And then from Osaka, we took the bullet train to Tokyo, and we were there for 4 nights.
Yeah, and I didn't realize this, but Tokyo is the largest city in the world. The most populated city in the world. I mean, it's spread out too a lot. But so for the largest city in the
crazy.
world, it was actually really easy to get around with the train system and everything, and you could still do
Yeah.
Ubers and buses and everything.
Yeah, we mostly took the trains, we took the metro, we took a couple of buses, and it was very easy to navigate, surprisingly. On Google Maps, it tells you what train to get on, where you want to go. So we found it fairly easy to navigate, considering the ginormous city that it is.
Yeah.
Now, 4 nights was nowhere near enough time in Tokyo. It is a huge city, but we got a good taste of it, I think. And again, Tokyo is not a cheap place to be. Accommodations are very, very small. And it was the tail end of our trip at that point. So that is why we only stayed there for a short bit of time. We would like to go back to Japan and
Yeah,
explore
I'd love
more.
to see more of the nature of Japan, and we would also like to go back when it's the cherry blossom season.
Season.
So we missed out on that. The
Yeah.
cherry blossoms were no longer there when we were
Yeah.
there. But yeah, we really loved the
culture.
the people, the culture, the respectful culture, the food, obviously. The sushi was a little disappointing.
Yeah, we didn't love the sushi. I
'Cause
guess we're spoiled with the
We
US
have the
saucy.
Americanized, like fancy, sauced up, crunchies on it, all kinds of stuff. And there they keep it very simple, but still beautiful. But we really enjoyed all the noodles.
We did. Oh,
All the
so
noodle
good.
dishes.
The ramen noodles or the udon, the thick noodles. It was just so good. The one thing with Japan, there was definitely a little more as far as language barrier, which whenever we go to a country, we never expect for them to speak English.
Of course.
We completely understand. We're tourists in their country, so we try to learn basic words to be able to get by in each place.
Yeah, well, we were definitely using translator
But
for.
yeah, in Japan we had to use translators. Love the 7-Elevens in Japan, actually in Asia in general. Like Thailand has really good 7-Elevens, but it made it easy to go and grab some food from there too while we were on the go.
Oh yeah, they would have, like, you wouldn't want sushi from a gas station
typically
typically in the US, but in Japan, it's fresh, like
Yeah, you
made
get it.
daily. In there, you can actually get good sushi
Yeah.
at the 7-Eleven. So
Anything.
that was amazing.
It was
so we
so
were,
many good foods
and we
there.
were walking distance to that. Like, there's so many things that I really want to do that we didn't get a
Yeah.
chance. Like, I wanted the Mario Kart, like down the street and everything, but the kids weren't old enough to do it. So
Yeah.
I was like, not gonna do it alone.
Yeah, we try to, whenever we're traveling full time, we try to balance. We can't do it all, we can't see it all. We try to really prioritize the experiences that I think we're gonna enjoy the most. And if we miss some things, we can always go back in the future. We don't have to see it all in the first trip. And that is where basically our journey outside the US stopped. So we were very meticulous as far as planning our last several months of travel in Asia, where we wanted each stop to bring us closer to the west coast of US. So that is why we kind of planned it in that order. So it makes sense as far as flights, expenses, and then also we got home with non-stop flights, which is incredible. So we flew from Tokyo, Japan to Hawaii.
Oh, and that is where the reverse culture shock started.
That is it. And we'll probably talk about reverse culture shock more in a different video. It was definitely an adjustment coming back to the US.
Especially Hawaii, which is the most expensive state in the US. So going from places like
Asia,
the Philippines,
Southeast Asia, yeah.
like if I just said like beach in the Philippines, just as beautiful as beach in Hawaii.
With warmer
And-
water.
With warmer water, actually, and cheaper food and cheaper accommodations.
And really nice
so
people.
While you know we loved Hawaii, it's just the price wasn't really worth it for us. So we just stayed there a short stay.
We did 6 nights. We did stay there on credit card points, which was really nice, but Hawaii is definitely a pricier destination.
So then what I really liked is we actually made a complete circle around the earth, which we didn't really plan in the beginning, So the way that we did it from Las Vegas, you know, headed the whole way around and back to Las Vegas
back.
again.
So
And here we are.
That's exactly right. And we've been here for the last few months trying to get, you know, our energy up again for travel because we definitely have more plans.
Oh, are we going to tell them our plans or are we going to?
We'll keep you guys.
We have our plans.
We do have our plans.
First leg of our journey. So we are going to a whole new continent. You can try to guess in the comments.
Yes. Try to guess where we're going.
Where we're going next that we haven't been. What continent?
Yeah. But I guess now it is time to reveal our top 5 places where we would live.
Okay.
All right. So
we're gonna do 5.
I think we'll do 5. This
Okay.
is not in any particular order. At this point, we're not ready to settle down in one place. There's a whole lot more of the world we want to see. But maybe in a couple years here, we might choose one of these places to stay a little bit longer at.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, there's lots of hoops to go through for visas and everything. And a lot of places we've gone, they do like a 90-day. So I think our ultimate would be once we've seen most of the things we want to see.
Maybe have a couple of home bases.
Maybe we do like 3 months here, 3 months here, and slow down a little bit, which is a lot easier for the kids too.
Yeah.
And us not to have to move that often. Hopefully we have some of the same ones.
I hope so.
I hope we don't have to split up.
All right. Well, let's see. So
I got mine.
Okay. Do you want to go first?
I want to go first.
Okay.
Because I don't want her to choose mine, and then I'm thinking which I want next.
Ah.
Okay. So mine is going to be, we just talked about it, Da Nang, Vietnam. So I like Da Nang because still had all of our Western comforts, our Western food, but still had, you know, the local food that was amazing too. Amazing beaches, affordable, you know, the traffic wasn't as bad as other places in Vietnam. Really cheap to get transportation as far as their equivalent of Uber Grab. So I wouldn't even feel like I needed a car there.
No.
Just go to Grab. They even have the scooter Grab where you can hop on the scooter and it'll take you for even cheaper. But I felt like it was just a really livable place that I could definitely do 3 months there, no problem.
No problem, especially because there's a lot of things nearby that you can go and explore. You can take day trips or weekend trips from Da Nang to other parts in Vietnam very easily. So
I assume that was on your list too.
That was definitely on my list.
Talked about that one before.
Yeah,
okay.
we definitely.
That's one of the 5. Okay.
One of the 5. Another one would be Malaysia.
Okay.
Now, I'm kind of torn on Malaysia as far as where. But either Kuala Lumpur or Penang, both of them would be incredible options, and it's places where, you know, definitely I could see us staying longer at. It felt very family friendly. It felt safe. There was a great food scene, which is a big thing for us. The locals were very friendly. Everybody spoke, for the most part, English, which is really helpful for the kids, especially making connections with the local kiddos. There's plenty to do. We never got bored. We easily spent a month there, and we could have stayed way longer.
Yeah, I would say Malaysia, livable. And we have a lot more to explore there. So there's lots of like shorter trips that we could do if we established a home base there.
Yeah.
Okay, and that actually makes me think of having a good home base and lots of places to explore from that home base, which would be the Philippines.
The Philippines, yes.
Yeah, because there's 7,000 islands. So
Let's explore.
Yeah, so I mean, you could stay in Metro Manila. Like we like BGC. We haven't really explored all the different areas. I know Makati's nice too, which we will see on our next trip whenever we go back to the Philippines, so I would say home base there, and then so we have all those amenities and all the Western stuff that we love, but then we can go see the beautiful nature whenever we want and explore the many, many islands to explore. So I think for me that Philippines is on that top 5 list.
Another one that's on my list, now we have 3, right?
Okay.
Be Dubai.
Ah, Dubai.
So Dubai is definitely a little more expensive than the other options. It's a little pricier, but it's still more affordable than living in the US as far as if you're not living like a tourist. There was a lot to do. There is a good homeschooling community there as well. It just felt really safe. It felt really orderly and clean, and we really enjoyed it. I definitely could have stayed there longer.
Yeah, and I think I agree with that. I think I would put a caveat on there, like if money was no object.
We're living there.
Yeah, because like we were staying in like in a 1-bedroom with a pull-out couch, which was the same price as we could have stayed in Asia for like a 3-bedroom.
That's true. That is true. But I did see some longer-term options in Dubai as far as accommodation.
I guess if you're not right in the city, a little bit further out. We were in like some of the most expensive areas
Yeah.
too in Business Bay.
Yeah, we were. So there's other areas where it is a lot more affordable to live. And also the one thing I love about Dubai is it is a great base as far as being able to explore both Europe and Asia.
A lot of
You have
flights out of there.
Lots of flights that are non-stops to both continents. So it just makes it a really nice central point to be able to explore
Very
the surrounding
safe.
area.
Be- still
it felt
has
very
beaches.
safe. Has beautiful beaches. Now the only drawback would be the weather.
Hot
It does get
in
very
the summer.
hot. Now
We're
kind
from
of,
Vegas.
We're kind of used to
Like,
that.
are we trying to do one more?
All right, we're doing one more.
What about Europe? Somewhere in Europe. Okay.
I have mine.
All right.
Do you have yours?
Uh,
Channel. Come on, you can figure it out.
Italy or Spain?
Not Italy. I loved Italy, but I just can't. I haven't found a place there where I would call home there, and I just find it a little more expensive. Spain.
We haven't
on the other
explored a lot
hand,
there either, so
That's
that's
true.
you know.
So maybe that will change if we go back to Italy. But as of right now, Spain, definitely I could see us living there. First of all, I would love for our kids to learn Spanish, which would be incredible. But in addition to that, the food was really good. It was fairly inexpensive to live there in comparison to other places.
Yeah, it's,
or
I
living
guess
in
it
the
is.
US.
It was cheaper than Italy, so
It
I'll give-
was significantly
Yeah.
cheaper.
hmm
Also,
And of course, you can always visit other places in Europe easily.
Exactly.
Whenever you're living anywhere
Yeah.
in Europe, you know.
So in Spain in particular, I'm not sure where we would base. There is a couple of different options. For example, Malaga, we really enjoyed that. It has a really nice old town. It's on the beach. The beaches again are a little cooler for us
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna
temp-wise.
say. I remember like a little bit cold water.
Yeah, but it did offer a lot as far as the town. There was a lot
Amazing
of
food.
museums for the kids. We went to an incredible music museum. That was an interactive museum the kids loved. It just felt homey. There was great park areas as well. Spain in general felt pretty homey to me.
Yeah, and I guess also like we've been other places in Europe, like we've been to France, we've been to London, we've been other places, but that wasn't with the kids. So I think we would need to explore. We need to explore more in Europe with the kids.
Yeah.
Like obviously we like Bulgaria just because she's from Bulgaria. Very easy for me. I got a translator. You know, I speak very limited Bulgarian, but yeah, I wouldn't want to be there in the winter.
Well, I think that is all for this video.
Yeah, so what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna get our kids to come in and tell us what their favorite is, because that kind of changes from day to day. We're back with the kids, so we haven't asked them beforehand, so this is gonna be real time, because it does change every time we ask, it seems like. So who wants to go first?
Connor.
Okay, Connor, what was your favorite place that we went?
My favorite, Japan.
Your favorite was Japan? Why was Japan your favorite?
The food was just so good.
The food was so good? And I know you liked all the
And like,
Pokemon stuff.
You could just buy an entire meal from 7-Eleven. That's not usual for 7-Eleven. It's literally a gas station.
Yeah. What did you like? What did you like? What animals that we saw? I know you like that. We talked about that earlier in the video. What animals that bowed?
The bowing deer.
Yeah.
Really
that was
cool
fun, right?
experience, huh?
Yep.
And then Logan. What
I
was your?
liked Bulgaria because it had really good food and had really nice water at the beach.
Oh, and also one of your favorite people is from there.
Yeah.
Who's that?
My mammy.
Well, technically you guys are half Bulgarian too, so I'm glad that you like
So
it.
you're from Bulgaria too. Yeah. Would you want to live there?
Yeah.
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 Aw.
So that'll definitely be a place that we go back to. And Connor, I'd say Japan. We definitely need to explore there more too. So don't worry, you're gonna get your wish. We might not move there, but we're definitely going back to those two places.
That's for sure. Well, that is all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing more about the different places that we've been to. Got some more insight on different destinations that maybe you will want to move to someday.
And got to know us a little bit more too.
For sure. And we'll
Yeah.
see you guys in the next video.
See you in the next one.
Make sure you like and subscribe, please.